Hello, Piggy Piggy. Why are you not in your pen where you're supposed to be? You're coming to say hello? I see you found some mud to roll in. Yeah, hi. Hi. I knew you were friendly, but good grief. That's my toes. Are you glad to see me in the garden? I've been working a lot lately. Haven't been in the garden much. Don't mess with my coffee and we can still be friends. No, no, no. Seriously there, Piggy Piggy. I can't believe you're in the garden. Here, I'm trying to show everybody my pretty, pretty flowers and my vegetables. And you're in the garden covered in mud. We'll have to investigate that in a minute. Oh, look at these. Look at how tall. Beautiful. Oh my goodness. Get off my foot, dude. You're weird. What are you... Are you sniffing me like an animal? Huh? I think you really were a pet. I do. I think you really were a pet. No, get off my foot. Go on, shoo. Go on. Oh, man. Garden is just amazing. Look, we got little bitty, bitty, bitty. Little bitty. Oh my gosh, get off of me, dude. Little bitty. On the peppers. Oh my gosh. Look at the comfrey. Wow. And the zinnias. Eric, you said to do something pretty, so it's time to cut a bouquet, prune these zinnias and cosmos back so that they will grow more. Look at that. So gorgeous. Oh, look at the petunias falling out of the bed. Excuse you. Get out of there. Get out of there. See? This is why pigs don't belong in gardens. That's why the garden needs a fence. Bad piggy. Oh, poor baby. Oh, look at those petunias. Those are gorgeous. Look at all the different colors of zinnias. Thank you, Baker Creek. I have kinds I've never had before, thanks to you. Beautiful. Hi, Chicky Chick. Look at all the sunflowers. I'm going to have sunflowers. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. We only had a couple last year, and they were not together. So Gigi's Pepper Patch is no longer a pepper patch, but it is definitely bringing us some fruitful, or will bring us some fruitful yield. I am simply trying to encourage this baby. Oops, must have blessed him. To go up and over the trellis instead of just along it. This one looks like it's pulling out. I'm trying to vine across. Yeah, it has fruit on it and it's vining across the flowers instead of... Oops. You don't want to see that. Alright, so she's back on the trellis and almost the tallest one instead of over the plants. Oh, look at this baby. Just amazing. I love it. So we lost one to the stupid boars come in and cut the stem. But this bed was over full anyway, so that will need to be burned. And I'm not sure, this one, yeah, this one had a boar in it, I got it out, you see, and I just don't know. I'm hoping that it puts off a piece of fruit or two before it dies on me. But I'm definitely thinking that we're going to sow some more squash because it's definitely not too late for us. And we have some coming, but they're just not here yet. So we're working on it. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Now, cucumbers. We have one that's essentially dead. We have one that's covered in fruit and bugs. We don't like those bad guys. But look at these white slicers. Thank you, Jess, so much for having me remember these. I love them. And Botanical Interest, thank you for the seeds. I'm going to let that one go for just a little while longer. This one, I didn't think she was going to make it. And, well, she's got one more piece of fruit on her that I'm letting her mature a little bit before I take it off. And then another cucumber over here that has one cucumber on it that looks so rough. And I think it's definitely ready to harvest. But it just, I don't know. Don't know if I should prune the dead ones like I have been and see if it does anything. But here's the problem. This is the end of the plant. And this is the other end of the plant. So I just don't think it's going to do anything. But that's okay, because look at this one. We have cucumbers. These are supposed to be Armenians, but they don't look like it to me at all. So we're going to let those go for a little while longer. See how they do, see what happens. All right. So we did have a bunch of serranos on these pepper plants, but we actually popped them into ferments with some of our cabbage harvest. This is definitely past due for pruning. I love it that our peppers are finally starting to look like adult plants instead of just wee babies. At least the first round of successions. Need to do some cleaning, but everything's just way behind this year, but it's coming along. My mom, she would be amazed. Gigi, as we call her. She wouldn't be amazed. She would be, what's the word I'm looking for? Be like, I told you so. Look at these trumpet vines. These blossoms are pretty much spent, but these are the newer ones. And these are what the pods look like off a trumpet vine. You have to be careful about growing this stuff because it's so highly invasive. But it attracts things that we need to the garden, and it's beautiful. The goats love to eat it. Anyway, my grandpa put it in many moons ago. Believe it or not, our rainbow chard is still just pumping along. The look at this, guys. Look. What is this that I see here? Is this a pineapple ground cherry on the ground on my garden? Oh my gosh. My gosh. 2 years of trying, and I don't know how many plants started, and I finally just picked up and ate my first ground cherry off the ground of my garden. This is, I don't know, it's just monumental. That's all there is to it. I don't remember. I don't think we covered this in the last tour because I'm still working on it. But this one's plain full of peppers. And we'll see what happens. My kohlrabi, I don't think I'm going to be able to wait much longer to harvest it, guys. We worked so hard on it for so long. But the best part is there's several okra plants started already that will be giving us some food. And, well, our Brussels sprouts, if we can just keep some of them alive, and then we might get one or two. Overlapping seasons, gotta love it. Look at this. We put in cantaloupe and watermelon in between our greens. We'll see how that does. Yep. Nice. Look at that wild jungle. I've got to get the middle cleaned out at some point. Maybe by fall. Alright, so you're probably wondering why in the world this cabbage is still here. I actually left this to draw the bugs here as opposed to the other plants. And we'll probably, either this weekend or later this week, go ahead and harvest these heads, even though they're really small. Because it's time to start cabbage again, and it's gotten hot. Like, if they looked better, I would just leave them and see if they do anything. But, and just collect their leaves. That's what we've been doing. We've just been harvesting the leaves. So we've gotten a lot of harvest off these plants, even though we haven't gotten the beautiful, traditional heads. Believe it or not, these are collard greens that we've been eating off of the whole season. Even despite the heat, they're still hanging in there, doing great. We've got eggplants to harvest today. So I want to make sure you guys can see this. We've got this eggplant that's grown the size of its plant, which I really should cut. I didn't bring my shears. Just look at this. It's the size of this tile. It's crazy. Anyway, we've got another one over here. It's not nearly as big, but it's been growing as long, so we're going to take that off the plant so it can focus on other things. Haha, yay. Sunflowers starting to cast a little shade in the garden beside the okra. It's doing great. Now that the multiplying onions are almost done, we're going to go ahead and let them shrivel up a little bit more. And then we will take those out to give room for other plants. So this right here, guys, this is hornworms. This is what hornworms does to your plants. And your fruit. Look at this giant monster. You're probably like, Annie, why do you have hornworms? Why is he sitting there eating your tomato? It's because there's a Catapa tree over the end of the garden that is absolutely, utterly infested in hornworms. These monstrous beasts will devour trees. See that big can you see his tail thing? Like, it's scary. Look at it, guys. He eats your plants. And he's like dangerous. Look at this. He's probably been here for like 5 seconds or 2 minutes or something along those lines, and he's already almost killed this beautiful tomato plant. Look at this guy. You cannot stay here. I'm sorry. Okay, so anyways, now that we got rid of that guy, I'll try to show you the tree. It's hard to do, but like, you look at this Catapa tree, it's like half dead. And it's covered in those worms. Some of them are just ginormous. Because, I mean, they just shear the plants. It's so sad. It's so sad. Look at this okra plant. It's getting so huge. Alright, so over here we have some green beans to harvest. Which we only have a handful. It's a long, complicated story. We only have a handful of our green beans. And that's okay. We've been eating, a little bit here and there. As they ripen. They're great for the soil, so that's good. Try not to let them get too overripe because they're not much of a joy to eat that way. Look, more ground cherries. Yay! I think they're just fun. They give you something to eat on while you're in the garden. Man, oh man, look at these babies. I mean, just look at that. They're beautiful and so healthy. I sat last week and just snapped a bowl of them after harvesting. And yes, they are planted in with other things. Normally, their growing seasons don't overlap so much, but for whatever reason, the shifts in things and changes and stuff, overlapping growing seasons is going to be a thing that we just have to learn to work with. And so this year, we definitely did some experimenting with what we put together. So here, I've got a tomato plant on either end, both which has had some catastrophe, so glad I didn't leave it all the garden space by its own. A couple of ground cherries, some herbs, and then we've got these green beans that came and that are yielding quite a lot actually for no more plants than it is in the amount of garden space that they're taking up. And all of these together seem to be doing well. It's like they're providing shade for each other, or they drive away the pests that the other ones don't like. Speaking of, we have a little bit of curl and blight on the older leaves of this tomato plant, but the new stuff, look at that, it looks beautiful. Let me get that off of it. Look at this. It's absolutely gorgeous. Oops, that's a sucker. We don't want that. So we could make another one, but guys, I have so many tomato plants. I don't need to make more of them. I just need to take care of the ones we have. And this one, you see, something happened or damaged the other. Let me show you. The other tomato prospects on this particular level of this plant. But we got one right here. Yep. This. It's that trumpet vine I was talking to you guys about. It's a weed. Now, because it's been in the garden for so long that it's naturalized into the whole little culture, subculture. That's not the right word I'm looking for, but either way, it's naturalized. And it comes up everywhere. Man, I'm so glad I got that hornworm, but he did some major damage. And he probably has just been there today. But look, there's his feces right there. If I can get it to focus. There we go. There's his feces that he's dropped from eating on my plant. And he got half of 2 of my tomatoes. See, there's another one right there. He got a little peckerwood. That's what we call them in country term for a child that's misbehaving, or term of endearment even sometimes. These beans. Crazy. Here's some more. I thought I harvested them, and I keep looking, and oh look, there's more green beans. That's awesome. No more than we have. We're getting a couple messes a week. That's pretty cool. Look at the ants on this ground cherry. Yeah, I messed up the camera for a second. I'm sorry. But like right here, the focus is, that ground cherry is covered in ants. But even when they're doing bad things, you don't want ants in the garden. However, or you do want ants in the garden, but you don't want pigs in the garden. Shoo! 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 Shoo, 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 shoo. Shoo! Off with you now. Yeah, this year isn't near as neat and tidy as last year, but I was thinking about it when I was looking back at old videos and things like that. Last year, during COVID, we were homesteading full time. And so I got to spend a lot more time in the garden with the animals, cleaning, that kind of thing, because I put in, look, 8, 10, 12 hours a day, every day. Isn't that awesome? That's what happens when you harvest the main one and then you let it go ahead and try to give you more. It's nice. Plants want to reproduce. They want to grow. Look at these guys. Poor babies. They've given us so much food. And the ones that survive through the heat, sorry I keep covering up the fingers. These that survive through the heat will continue to yield and continue to yield all through until hard freezes. It's great. I can't believe the eggplant, they've got some damage from those silly beetles that you just can never ever eradicate. But they are putting off new leaves that look good. They're healthy, they're producing fruit. Now that we've got the fruit off of them, they will set to work to try to produce more, which is a good thing. You guys are probably wondering what I'm doing here. I'm actually pruning my basil so that it continues to grow and split and doesn't go to flower. And then I just throw it in the garden with the plants because the plants like it and it's good for them. There we go. Alright, so we've got some okra that'll be coming on shortly there, thank goodness. I love okra. It's running way late this year, but that's okay. So you guys probably wondering why I'm letting the chickens run around, there I go again, in the garden. And it's because of things like those hornworms. If I let 1 or 2 chickens roam around in the garden, yes, they may get some of the low-hanging fruit, but they also help to keep the pests out of our plant. Oh, look at this. It's going to be a beautiful sunflower. You guys don't understand how excited I am about our hodgepodge of things that we've made into a garden this year. I don't know why, but I felt the need in the spring to plant as many plants as I could and share them, whether it be selling or trading or donating or planting myself with other people so that we would all have things in the ground and food growing. And only one of the folks that I work with has been sending me pictures or tagging me in their stuff from their plants, but I know for a fact that fruits and vegetables are yielding, that food is being eaten, and it's all heirloom and organic, which is wonderful. We got quite a bit ourselves planted. Not all of it, but a lot. The rain's coming, so I'm going to have to go soon. And I won't make it through the whole garden, but that's okay. We did do a little bit of harvest today. Got a little bit of weeding. Look at these beautiful, beautiful babies. Got a little bit of everything. A layer off, as we like to say. Here's the more peppers and basil and whatnot. I survived the transplant last week. It's doing really good. And we're getting some rain, so we'll see you guys later.